Hello, everyone. Good to see you. I've got some more questions here for us. I was actually supposed to do this yesterday on my schedule, but I got a little bit busy, so I'm doing it today. So let's just jump right into it. We've got, looks like 4 or 5 questions. All right, here we go. First question is from Selena Medina. International importing. I have a vendor overseas in Austria that produces a great quality product, but I am struggling to find a way to import the products. I've contacted numerous attorneys and 3 importing firms, but I have not received any answers. Any advice on who to contact? I do not know much about importing at all, so I would not be very helpful with this question. What I would suggest that you do, if you haven't already, is reach out just into the whole AO community in general. Another good resource, now that I think about it, is the U.S. Department of Commerce has a specific program for importing and exporting. If you are exporting goods to other countries, they have a specific department that helps with that. And if you are importing, they have a specific department that helps with that. So in your local area, in probably like the major metropolitan area in wherever you live, there will be a U.S. Department of Commerce office, and they help with all that sort of stuff. It's actually a pretty amazing service that lots of businesses do not even know about, where they give you lots of resources and assign you a person to help you with stuff like that, and it either costs nothing or very little. So actually, I guess I do know a little bit about that stuff. So I can't help you with a specific provider, but I might be able to connect you to somebody who can help you. So yeah, the U.S. Department of Commerce is the group that can help with that. All right, next question. Robin Turpin. How many times a week do you recommend posting on Instagram if you are developing a rapport for a business that sells my art? Oil paintings and colored pencil drawings. Thank you. I am starting to post on Instagram for business. I'm not a social media expert, but generally speaking, when I'm consuming social media, I generally find that people who post at least once a day pop up on my feed more. So I would probably, just from a user's perspective, probably say if you're posting once a day, that's probably a good goal. A lot of the YouTube guys that I watch post sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, which is crazy that they're actually able to produce that much. But I think 1 a day or 1 every other day is probably a good goal. All right, next question. Kelly Killingsworth, what podcast would you recommend to a service-based business? Kelly & Company is an excavation company in Northern California. I'm trying to make the best of my time. I'd like to know what podcast successful entrepreneurs listen to. Lately, I have been listening to podcasts while I drive and while on my downtime instead of music. Thank you for any suggestions you may have. So I don't listen to podcasts that are business, tactical specific. I usually listen to more macro level stuff. And they're not really podcasts. They're more like docu-series or something like that, whatever you would probably call it. But my recommendation, if you're interested in macro level things, is I love Economics Explained. It's an Australian guy, economist, who does a great job of just talking about these big macro level things that are either going on currently or about different countries. It really kind of shows a lot of cool, that sort of stuff. I also listen to another guy called RJ Talks. And then another guy, Jay Bravo or Johnny Bravo. I don't remember what his username is exactly, but he looks like the cartoon character Johnny Bravo. But it's all kind of economics and what's going on in the world today, kind of in the financial markets and stuff. I find that interesting, even if that's not your business. It's probably good to kind of just keep that on your radar, because those big macro level things seem to be kind of disconnected from our daily lives, but in fact, they really do affect a lot. So yeah, so that's what I like to look at. Demarius Tukes. What are some of the best practices when starting a business from scratch? What relationships do I need to make in order to grow a mold inspection business? What are some different ways that I should go about marketing and getting new business? How do I know how much money to put into advertising and marketing without overspending and going into debt to do so? I have a list of realtors that I can text who are friends. How should I approach them to let them know about my new business without trying to sell them something? What is the ratio, percentage of revenue to net profit for each business that I should be aiming for? My name is Demarius Tukes. I'm a licensed home inspector that I just acquired my mold inspection license and certification. I started in Southwest Florida, Mold Pros, an environmental inspection company, in mid-October. My goal is to do at least 20 mold inspections a month in order to make $100,000 in the next 12 months. All right, lots of questions there. Some of which I would be able to answer just on the fly. Others, it would probably be good to sit down with a spreadsheet and actually write it out. First question, you're kind of talking about marketing, getting off the ground, that sort of thing. A buddy of mine, when he started his business, which I thought was really brilliant, kind of like to your point, you have friends, you have people who are connected either directly that can specifically send you work, or you probably have other friends that are like one removed from people who can specifically send you work. What my buddy did was he started he did a business launch party. So like more of like just a general celebration because these people were his friends and people that he knows, and like he wanted to like just include them in his like excitement for what he's doing. And just coincidentally, or maybe not so much coincidentally, those are also the people who can help find him his first customers, or maybe even are his first customers. So it was very much not a selling thing. Like there was no presentation or anything like that. It was just a high level, hey, I'm super excited about this. I quit my 9-to-5 and now I'm starting this business and I just want to celebrate with everybody. And then from that, he made sure he talked to everyone and everyone knew what he was doing. And then from there, as they walked out the door, hey, I'm starting. So if you know anybody who I should be talking to, that's what I find to be the best marketing, especially in the early stages. And then even later stages too. Some businesses grow up really big just through those direct connections, through that networking effort. So that's what I would recommend on the sales and marketing side to start. And then to your other question about ratios of percentage of revenue to net profit, look, that's going to be different for every business. Lots of time I was on service businesses, depending on what your costs are. I assume it's probably just labor. You should establish whatever the market rate is for an inspector. Whatever that market rate is, you're going to mark that up to some number, and that's going to produce your gross profit, and then you have to live on your gross profit and create a net profit from that. A service business probably should expect to make, ideally, like targeting a net profit of around 20%. If you're making less than a net profit of 20%, after paying your labor and after paying all your overhead and stuff, if you're making less than a net profit of 20%, you're probably inefficient somewhere or not charging enough for price. If you've got way more than a net profit of 20%, either you're not accounting for your labor properly, or you're not spending enough money on marketing or something like that. Like your competitors will outspend you. That's a good sign that if hey, look, I got a net profit of 40% and I'm paying for everything, it means your other customers are going to undercut you, or your other competitors are going to undercut you in some way. So anyway, yeah, that's a bunch of, you can really dig into the deep stuff on that. So we can talk about that. If you want to reach out, I'll talk to you. Happy to do it. Rohit Gupta, when do you know it's time to quit your job and go full-time in your business? I have about $3,000 in credit card debt and our storefront should be opening soon. I have major doubts about the business and its success. I'm having trouble believing in myself and going for it. I don't want to quit work because I want to see how the business will do and if it will need financial support. That's a good thing to be concerned about, for sure. I think my recommendation on that is having a proof of concept is great before you go all in on that particular business. So I feel like sounds like that's where you are. You're trying to develop a prototype, a proof of concept that it actually works. So you have to look at it one of two ways. You either have to say, I quit my job and I'm all in on this business, knowing that it's essentially an investment in the business, right? If you normally make $5,000 a month doing something else, and now you're not making $5,000 a month, you're essentially investing $5,000 a month into your business as part of the startup. And so, it's got to pick up from there. So you can look at it that way. You can also look at it the other way, like, hey, I don't want to give that up and I want to have that extra cash flow in order to help support until I need, because otherwise I'm going to run out of money very quickly. Well, that's something to be concerned about. if you do go that route, I would just warn that you need to make sure that you put enough energy, and you have enough energy yourself to put into the business to potentially make it work or not. Like, that it doesn't not work because you just don't have the energy, the time, the strength left at the end of the day to actually do the work. Because that could kind of self-sabotage the business, and then go, oh, see, it didn't work. Well, you didn't really put the time in. So not saying that's what it would be, but I just say be aware of that. But yeah, that's a personal decision you have to make for yourself, and based on your own financials and your own emotional, what allows you to sleep well at night. I have an entrepreneur friend whose number one like kind of investment opportunity filter has to do with can he sleep at night? So if it's something that he's considering, something that is going to make it so it's going to be hard for him to sleep at night, then he's just not going to do it, no matter how good the opportunity is. All right, next question. Robin Turpin. What do you do when a family member asks you more than you have time to do? Asks more than you have time to do. For the past 11 days, I have had dog duty. She is very needy and loves it. Exhausts me. Do you have any thoughts? I believe in supporting family. Sister is always traveling. She needs constant care, and I do not want to do it for no money. Any advice? Thank you so much. When I think of who I am thankful for, I think of you. Hey, thanks a lot. Okay, so it sounds like you've got a sister who is asking you to take care of her dog for no money, and it's a pain in the butt. That's a tough one. Family stuff is difficult. I guess one thing you could do is you could find out what it would cost to put the dog in like a doggy daycare or something like that, whatever the cost is for that. Find out what that number is. Like, say it's $50 a day. I don't know what it is. And then tell your sister that, hey, like, I'm really excited. I've got this opportunity to do whatever it is, that you're doing in your business. And I just, I have to really watch my time. And I know that this place over here charges $50. And so if I'm going to do it, I need to get my hourly rate, which I get out of my business, which is $75. So if you want to pay me $75, look, I love hanging out with the dog, but it's going to cost my regular hourly rate, which is $75 or whatever your hourly rate is. Just make sure it's higher. Make sure you tell her what your hourly rate is higher than whatever the local dog place would charge. In which case, then from a dollars and cents perspective, she's either going to pay you your hourly rate, which is fine. Now you just, you're making your hourly rate to watch the dog if you're happy with that. Or if she wants to pay less, she's going to have to send somebody else and give you your time back. Just one idea. I'm sure there's better. Marco Antonio Sanfulu. Sorry about the last name pronunciation. How do you organize and plan your day, weeks to work in the company? Sanfilino is a full travel concierge service company. We focus in Cartagena, Colombia, and provide travelers all over the world with a prime bespoke experience in the country, meeting the highest standards of service. Our portfolio includes villas, apartments, private islands, boats, and yacht charters, VIP access to premium club and restaurants, corporate events, tastings, and amazing experience with local communities. How do I organize and plan the day? Here's what I do. And I've given this advice to a whole bunch of different people. I create a template week, a preferred template week. Like, here's the days that I will spend, generally my week consists of at most, Monday through Friday. I don't put any work time on Saturday, Sunday. Who knows? Maybe sometimes random things come up or I travel or something like that, so then fine. But that's not part of the template. The template is my preferred template week. And I lay it out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the top. And then on the left, what's the earliest time that I get up to exercise, let's say. I think my calendar starts at 8, because I'm not going to do anything before 8 a.m. anyway. 8 a.m. through, and I think I go to like 9 p.m. or something like that. And then and every half hour, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, all the way down. And then I just block out those squares based on my template preferred schedule. Here's my exercise time. Here's my reading time. Here's my flex time. That means whatever I want to do with that time, I do. Here's my standing meetings. All standing meetings have to fit into this box on this day, or these multiple boxes on these other days. So like creating that template then gives you direction, then you're deliberate about how you're spending your time. And that's also a good way if you're procrastinating or you're not getting certain things done, put them right there on the schedule, on the template schedule, and then have them show up there and treat them serious like any other meeting or anything else that you would have scheduled, and do the work at the time you say you're going to do it. This is also a helpful template to have if you have an assistant or someone who's helping you with your schedule, because they can then use that template to plug stuff in for you without having to talk to you, because they'll know, oh, this is in this category, cool, I can put it in any of these slots. And it's also a good way to kind of squeeze the amount of time that you're stuck doing things you don't really want to do, because you really kind of squeeze it into, it doesn't get spread out all over the place and kind of screw up your entire day. So, yeah, I hope that's helpful. And that's it. I'm all out of questions. It was good to see everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in the new year.